Welcome back to the Southern Scene on WSAV and MyLC. As you know, the Georgia Day Parade is coming up, and it's all about history. And a local business who knows all about history, of course, one of my favorites, J.C. Lewis Ford. And joining me right now is Walter Lewis, of course, here at J.C. Lewis Ford. It's so good to see you, Walter.
Well, good to see you again, Natalie. It's been quite a while.
It has been quite a while, and I'm so happy to have you here on the Southern Scene. You know, of course, the Georgia Day Parade is coming up, and you guys have been here for so many years. What has it been like to have such a flourishing business here in Savannah and to see it blossom, I mean, for so many years? I mean, we're going back, what, 100 years?
101.
101 years. That's amazing. What has it been like to have that kind of history in Savannah?
Well, we've been very blessed and very honored to be able to serve this community for that long, and obviously it's been depending on a whole lot of good people, and we've been very fortunate to have a lot of good folks over the years. It certainly wasn't anything I had to do anything with, but 100 years is a long time.
But you're not just in Savannah. I mean, you've got to blossomed out, and the legacy is continuing to blossom out in other areas. Can you talk about that?
Well, we recently expanded into Statesboro. We were able to buy Rozier Ford and just took it over the first of the year, so we're looking forward to serving that area. And coincidentally, my uncle, great uncle, S.W. Lewis, had that dealership back in the 30s, so we're sort of returning back to that market. It's been quite a while, but before my time, but we're happy to be in that area, and we were able to assume a lot of very competent and very valuable employees of the Rozier organization, and we've got some big shoes to fill up there, but hopefully we can do that and look forward to serving that area in Statesboro.
Well, I want to ask you, how did the business get started?
Well, my grandfather started it in 1912. He bought a business from Mr. Weeks, from the Fox and Weeks organization, and Mr. Weeks decided he'd rather get in the funeral business and get out of the car business, and he approached my grandfather and wanted to sell it for $500, but my grandfather didn't have the $500, so Mr. Weeks was kind enough to loan it to him. So he loaned it to him, and he bought it, and at the time it was located down on Bull Street right across from the Hilton. And they stayed there for a couple of years, and then he relocated it down to where the SCAD Oglethorpe House is on Oglethorpe and Barnard, and that's where they were till, I'd say, sometime in the 1960s before they relocated again out to 5505 Abercorn and into this current location early 1970, 71.
And you guys have gone through a lot of transition over the years. I mean, it just keeps blossoming, and that's got to feel good, you know, here in Savannah as a businessman.
Well, you know, we've, like I say, been very fortunate to have a lot of good folks, a lot of good employees, and a lot of faithful, loyal customers. And, you know, for those folks, the only reason we're still here, and we're very appreciative. I'm very appreciative of all those folks.
But the Georgia Day Parade, of course, a lot of history with that. All the local kids coming out in costume and marching along the parades. It's an annual event every single year, and you guys are always reaching out to be a part of the community. Why is that so important to J.C. Lewis Ford and the Lewis family?
Well, Georgia's been around, what, 280 years, and there's a lot of history, and I probably could go to the parade myself and try to learn a little history. I wasn't the best history student myself. I know
you or me either.
I know there's a lot of history to be learned, and you know, that's part of what makes us all in Georgia, because there's a lot of history, and we're just glad to be a part of it for our 100 years.
So what's something that you can tell us where J.C. Lewis is concerned and the Lewis family when it goes back to history? What are the unique stories?
Well, I think we probably partially responsible for helping to motorize Savannah is when my grandfather started. I don't believe there were a lot of cars around town, and they used to take horses and mules in on trade. In fact,
horses and mules on trade?
Horses and mules would be taken in on trade. In fact, my grandfather traded in the first batch of horses for police cars, the first police cars of the city of Savannah.
Well, thank you so much, Walter, for joining us on the Southern Scene.
Right.
I've loved catching up with you, and I hope you'll let us bring our Southern Scene cameras back again.
Certainly. Well, I appreciate you coming here today.
It's always great to see you.
Thank you very much.